Welcome back to another Sunday Stock Talk. Guys, we have a lot of new news this week. The US credit was downgraded. We have negative GDP. There is rising inflation. Tariff wars are still paused. 30% recovery in the market, but possible sell-off coming soon. And not only are we going to talk a little bit about all that, we're going to share my screen now and we're going to get into some other companies that I see value in buying once this little rally begins to recover. So welcome. If you guys are new here, welcome. This is a live stream, so we are going to be going over a few news articles that I seen this morning, as well as a few other things that are happening in the market overall, as well as why are the markets selling off and what we can do about it to take advantage of it this week ahead. So very excited to have you all here, and welcome. Hope you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. And this is your first time watching. We do this every single Sunday. We host these, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So we're going ahead and sharing this with our link, Sunday Stock Talk now. All right. We're going to wait a couple of seconds for people to tune in from our Investing for Beginners community Discord. Okay, there we go. Which honestly has close to 700 members. We're working our way to 1,000. And then as you can see here, we crossed over 7,000 members recently on YouTube, working our way to, of course, 10,000 by summer. So if you find value in what we do here, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Now, it is a red background because the markets are red over the weekend. They are down 1.32%, and as you can see here, touching that 521.93 QQQ, or the overall NASDAQ, could not get past that 521.93 mark. It tried on Thursday, it tried on Friday twice, not only pre-market during open, and then again right before close, could not get above those levels. And now on the 30-minute time frame for QQQ, you can see a strong rejection after hours here from that 521.93 all the way down to 514.63. That's a 1.33% sell-off. Now, are the markets going to continue to sell off even more, or are we going to get some kind of a quick recovery here and go into some new all-time highs? When looking at this on the 4-hour chart, you can see how aggressive of a sell-off this was. Back to basic support levels of where we were previously on Thursday and potentially Wednesday. So could this already be rallying at this 514.08, pretty much right where I drew that line at 513.98, seeing as its 513.81 was a slight critical support level there. And so I'm kind of curious to see, do we get a bounce off of QQQ tomorrow at market open? Do we get this nice little bounce back up and make new highs, or does this continue to sell off even more? Well, what's great about this live stream is we can actually go over this together as a team, and we can then decide, okay, what's the best course of action for tomorrow? And we're going to go ahead and pop out the chat. I didn't do that earlier. Welcome. Okay, welcome. And we are live. Okay, we are live. So some of the news from today. Oops, we are alive. We are olive oil. Let me fix that. We are live. And my caps were on, so it came out weird. So the overall market is selling off, but back at support levels. I would love to see this, of course, sell off more, because then we could buy more at a cheaper price, and we could actually take advantage of SQQQ. Now, this is a triple leveraged inverse ETF, which means anytime that you buy into this company, you are shorting the overall market. So if you think the market is going to sell off even more, right, because it has the potential to sell off still, after a nice 30% recovery, then you might want to invest in SQQQ. Now, talking about that specifically, from $540 all the way down to $398 is how much the overall NASDAQ sold off. It sold off 26%, and it did this in literally 42 days. In 42 days, the market sold off 25%. Now, it has recovered since then from those 398 levels to those highs of 521. It recovered 31% in 39 days. Is that insane? Is that insane? That is an insane recovery for any stock or even the overall NASDAQ. Now, I mean, we see returns typically 8, 10, maybe sometimes 15% a year, but never like a 30% in a year, much less in 39 days. So the market has recovered very strong based off of really nothing, based off of hope and hype and a lot of mixed information, right? Where the U.S. still isn't doing a very good job. We just got downgraded on the U.S. credit. I believe it's like the third report that came out for a downgrade. We have negative GDP. If we get one more negative GDP, we will officially be in what's known as a recession. Rising inflation. I'd like to showcase that to you real quick. Here in our Discord, you can see, oh, why is this so big? That was weird. Here in the Discord, you can see bar chart shows that consumers now expect inflation to jump to 7.3% over the next 12 months, the highest reading in over 44 years. Well, that's not a great indication for the overall stock market. Now, there are still tariff wars, which isn't great, right? And then we also have what someone's saying here, Michael and Esther. SPY can easily crash 5 to 10% this week because its debt got downgraded by Moody's. We're just talking about that. But this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to possibly 10x your account. Here's 4 critical levels to focus on. So they believe that at these all-time highs, SPY is also going to come back down to some of these previous levels. And if you want to join Discord, it is the first link below. It's 100% free, lifetime access, and you get all that information when I get it. Definitely check it out. But to say the very least, that if SPY comes down back to where it was, then of course QQQ can also as well. The overall NASDAQ, we're looking at 530s, maybe an 11% sell-off, right? Also, did you guys see my Instagram post about Michael Burry shorting the market? You guys can also follow me on Instagram, and I also give you, updates there as well that kind of are a little different than the Discord updates, and then I give you some like motivational type stuff as well. So definitely check that out. But yeah, let me showcase that to you real quick. Do I have a picture of it? Let's see. Yeah, right here. So this is my Instagram, and Michael Burry has a $97 million short right now. Okay, again, you could follow me on Instagram, JohnnyTrades_IFB. I believe it's also JohnnyTrades_LTE. Link is in the description. I believe it's the third link, okay? But Michael Burry has a NVIDIA put right now. He has a Baidu put, a TCOM put, a EL. He's going long on EL, my bad. He's going long on Estee Lauder, okay? JD, PDD put, and BABA put. Now, for everyone who doesn't know who Michael Burry is, this is the Big Short guy. This is the same guy from the movie The Big Short, where he predicted not stock market, the real estate crash of 2008, the financial crash of 2008. Michael Burry shorted, and no one believed him. And so he's doing it again. Could this be a signal, or is Michael Burry finally crazy, right? So, yeah, definitely check out my Instagram. Here's a picture of me getting some wild honey today. Actually, I just posted it like 35 minutes ago. And then we had a good workout today and stuff like that. So definitely go check it out. Fresh air gym. Yep, got outdoor gym. Getting those pumps in. Okay, so other than that, we're trying to get Instagram to 1,000, so go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Do all those things that you need to do to be a member here. Okay, so what does that mean for us here on the live? It says, Ari DV says, is that due to pump or play by big players? It's probably due to institutional. It's definitely not retail traders, right? Definitely not retail traders. And look at this. What we thought was somewhat a support, we're going to see possibly more selling pressure. Okay, so possibly more selling pressure in the morning. We could get a quick little bull trap. It's done it before recently where, let's look back at that previous bull trap we had on SPY. Where was it? Back in this area. Look at this thing. Many times it, like right here, it pushed up and then sold off. Really quick sell off. Another big sell off. Another big sell off. So there's areas here where the market has sold off pretty aggressively in a very short amount of time. Recovered, right? Sold off, recovered, sold off, recovered, sold off. So, I mean, I think the markets are going to continue to be extremely volatile and choppy. And as you can see here, even on the live stream, SPY's down 1%. QQQ's down 1.32%, right? Trying to get that recovery here, but we're going to see what happens in the morning. So if you guys want to join the live stream tomorrow morning at market open, you definitely can, 100% free. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and wake up early enough to watch it. I think that's the biggest struggle, right? So QQQ, okay, trying to find that recovery at 514. Now, if it does find that recovery at 514, well, what? If we can push up to 521, markets could recover 1.5%, possibly 2%, maybe retest this resistance level at 521, maybe break above it, possibly not, right? It could just end up trading within this channel here. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this here. Now, it could also sell off more. Now, if it sells off, what will we be seeing the next areas? 509 potentially, okay, 509, and even 500. You know, why not retest 500? Well, 50 kind of 504. So 509, 504, 501.50. You know what I mean? So I mean that could be a pretty decent sell-off, 2.5%. So leading to my point here, TQQQ, if it recovers and the market recovers 1%, TQQQ can recover 4 to 5%, 3 to 5%, right, on TQQQ going long. Now, if the market continues to sell off, we get validation and SQQQ holds above this green moving average. Markets begin to sell off even more. Then SQQQ could be that nice company, that nice position you'd want to take shorting the market. So you can get 6%, maybe even possibly 15% on SQQQ. Now, everything is down. As you can see here, even VIX index is down below that moving average for the, last few weeks, I'd say, since since April 24th. So not a lot of volatility, but there's definitely still a lot of choppiness in the market, isn't there? Definitely a lot of choppiness. Look how much of a selling pressure this had on the weekly. Now, when the market sells off, it sells off quickly, recovers, sells off, and this took a longer time to recover. Here, it sold off and recovered very quickly. So we want to be very cautious going into tomorrow. Okay, markets can recover, and we're going to ride that wave up, or maybe it's a possible bull trap. It pushes up to 516, 518, and then maybe flushes, or it sells off. It sells off to 513. Maybe it sells off to 508. And then pushes up. So there's a lot of different variables that can happen tomorrow. No one can predict it, but I'm looking really nice on SQQQ if the market sells off. Okay. Now overall, Microsoft is down 1%. It's touching that moving average on the 30-minute. Could this possibly bounce off of this level and definitely push the market up more? Yes, it could. Same with Apple. Apple is below, but I believe Apple could sell off a little bit more. Okay. Get back into this $200 range. Nvidia also touching that moving average, so we can get a nice bounce back up from 132 to 136. Nice $5 per share, maybe 3.5% recovery here, or it can sell off even more. Amazon selling off, AVGO definitely selling off below that moving average. Meta, it is selling off, right? Netflix, again, got up to 1200 and selling off. Costco, a nice little curl over. Could this possibly rebound and push up, or do you think it could sell off more? I'd love to know. And then Tesla, right? Holding that ground. It can't really push above 351, right? 350, 150, selling off, but it will be testing that moving average. So if it can hold above the moving average around 339, 338, we can see some more bullish action and upward movement back to 351, right? If it can hold this area, it'll begin to sell off, and it can technically go back down to 315, 300, even 290 for Tesla. Google, same thing. Google pushing, selling off from 169 to 163. Could this potentially bounce? Yes, off of 162-ish levels, 163 levels, back up to 169, a nice 4% recovery. Or could this potentially sell off with the rest of everything, back down to those 147, 150 levels, maybe even 160, 155 levels? It's definitely very possible. Overall, though, the market is selling off from those highs we've seen on Friday. And this can happen. We're going to get a lot of volatility. And as you can see, even with Google, from 171 all the way down to 137, it sold off. Then it pushed all the way up to 160. Came down to 146, pushed up to 169. Came down to 155, back up to 165. That was a $10 move, and then flushed all the way down to 148. Then pushed all the way back up to 169. So, I mean, incredible moves off of even just one company. If you even bought this at 151 at this first green candle down here and sold anywhere in this level, you'd be up 9%. You would be up a solid 9% to even 12% at that all-time high in a matter of 9 to 10 days. So it's very interesting to see. Hey, Major, what's going on? We are live. Yes, we are. Welcome. So it's pretty amazing to see how fast the markets can recover, but then also how fast they can sell off. Look at this one sell-off. Now, obviously, this was one of their earnings. Okay, so this doesn't always happen, but that was a 10 or 11% sell-off. And since then, it's recovered. So now we're getting some more selling pressure. And now we're curious, and I'm interested to see, does this recover? Or do we begin to get back down to these lower lows? Is it going to test 160? Is it going to test 150s? I'm very excited, right? Now, if it does recover, and for all of our long-term investors, anywhere down in this range, right? 130s, 140s, 150s could be a great area to buy overall if you're going to hold long term back up to those $200 levels. Even right now, that's a 24% profit. If you bought anywhere down in the 140s, you're up 50% once it recovers back to those $200 levels. Are you expecting a big dip in ES in 36 minutes? I don't really mess with futures too much, but I noticed, the market is selling off like crazy. The overall entire market is selling off. So I noticed there is a lot of selling pressure coming in right now. QQQ, though, overall, trying to hold at these support levels. So I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow. Crypto, it's at 104 from 74,000. This is another crazy thing, right? No one believed me when at 109, at 100, at 90, at 80. No one believed when I said it's going to come back to 75,000. And it did. But I'm not the kind of guy that says, I told you so. Okay, so, everyone sees differently, different patterns. And it could have went the other way, and we could be having a different conversation. But we knew this was going to pull back significantly. It pulled back to that $75,000 resistance. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let's see. There we go. Because it was trading within this 52,000 to 75,000 range for quite some time. Ever since, February 2024 to 11/24, it traded within that range. So just by understanding that, I saw it could pull back to 75,000. It did, and guess what? It recovered all the way to 105, up 41% on Bitcoin. And of course, now it's a little bit more correlated with the stock market, gold, and everything like that. Now that more institutional investors are buying into Bitcoin, it's somewhat more correlated. Whereas before, stock market was going down, people could pull money out, put it into Bitcoin, Bitcoin would go up. Okay, Bitcoin's kind of coming down, stocks are going up, people would move money that way. Now everyone's just buying Bitcoin, everything's kind of moving together all at the same time. I'm expecting a dip induced by Moody's. Yep, we were just talking about that. Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit. Yep. And then bounce between now and tomorrow. Yeah, I would love to see a nice bounce. Any levels on SPY tomorrow? I believe we went over that already. SPY's levels. The 1 hour, I mean, we could easily see this come back down again to, 5. Well, it already pretty much hit that 587, but even 583 potentially is a pretty key level here if it does come down that low, and even possibly 580. Okay, so just to let you know that as well for support. Okay, last little bit here. Barracks mining. This could be a pretty good opportunity here on gold if you guys see that gold sold off enough to where it can now possibly recover. Gold is at 17. Barracks mining, it was as high as 27. Seems to have a lot of resistance at around about $20 and a lot of support around like 13, to 15 recently. But even as low as, $5 or $9, that would be beautiful. But yeah, those $13, $15 levels, it wouldn't be bad to buy. I'd love to see gold come down a little bit more again with the market. The market sells off. Typically gold seems to rise, but lately it just seems to be quite opposite. So as we see barracks go up, though, from 17 to now $18 after hours, could we see gold push up to maybe that $19 level? And you see, hey, maybe from 18 to 19, 1950s, you see a 9% profit. Maybe that's something you might be interested in going into tomorrow. Let's see here. What else? Meter says I have a lot of hopium, but I positioned for some down move tonight. Didn't Trump do a pump on Friday after Moody's? Yeah, I believe so. For everyone tuning in, we did talk about right here, SPY can easily crash 5 to 10% this week because its debt got downgraded by Moody's. This can give us a great retrace movement because we can buy down in this level down here. Okay, and then also consumer now expect inflation to jump to 7.3% over the next 12 months, the highest it'll ever be in the last 44 years. We also have tariff wars that are paused, and of course Trump's meeting with a bunch of different people in regards to settling those. Still possible sell-off because we had that 30% recovery within like 30 or 40 days, and then we have that negative GDP. So the negative GDP, we get one more of those, and we are in some serious trouble. So looking at Tempest AI, this is something that we've been following. Again, we called this out back in April, back at the beginning of May when it crossed over this, and when it retested it back May 6th. From $35 to $68, guys, our team was able to make some money, over 100% profit for anyone who saw potential in this. We called it out last Sunday when it started hitting those $52, $55 levels, another 30% profit if you guys took advantage. So Tempest AI, beautiful move from those support levels to resistance. Now we're going to be waiting on Tempest AI to come back down to catch that again and ride that wave back up. Celsius, again, another beautiful call out. If you started back in February from $21 all the way up to $36, came back down and retested those $25, $26 levels, gave everybody an opportunity to load up at those levels, pushed up to resistance, a nice 41% profit at those resistance levels. tested as support for quite some time, and then made some new highs from 36 to 39. That's a 10% profit right there. And we're going over these companies every single week on the Sunday Stock Talk. These 9 companies don't ever change, and you have the ability to make money with them week after week. This nice move right here, once it validated it was above the moving average, 36 to 39, a nice 10 to 11% profit in 2 or 3 days on Celsius. Century Aluminum, nice little area of consolidation. As you can see here, this used to be a beautiful horizontal pattern from lows of $16.50 to highs of $20, even $21. You can see these move very nicely. A nice 25% profit in 18 days. Another 36% profit in 2 weeks. Another 23% profit in a week. And then it did this nice move here from support to resistance levels. 28% profit in 1 single week. So putting $1,000 down here, selling up here, would have resulted in an extra $260 in your account. Now, ever since that last trade we took here, it's been selling off and got as low as $13 before making a nice recovery to that moving average. 35%. Yes, 35% in literally 2 weeks. Now, it has not been able to get above that moving average, but I believe Century X or Century Aluminum, when it does push up above that average, we're going to get a lot of buyers step in around $17, 17 to 20. There's that 22% profit again for Century Aluminum. So if it pushes up, great. We want to see it get above $17. That's where we're going to set our alert. But if it begins to sell off down to this level here, say $14, $15, even $13, consider yourself lucky, because we have that opportunity to buy at a lower level, potentially bouncing back to that moving average, 30% profit. And if it pushes above that moving average, even a 62% profit on Century Aluminum. So I hope that one sounds good for you guys. PLTR, again, pushed up very nicely. Look at this, 3 stages of reversal here. Pushed up from 70 to 125. So we got rejected. It came back down to 70 in that little consolidation period, and then pushed all the way up to $133. What a beautiful 3 stages of reversals set up here. Support at 70, resistance at 125. That was a beautiful trade. And guys, we've been talking about PLTR on this watch list for months, literally for months, and PLTR pushed up 84% in about 37 days, again hitting resistance levels. This may be the opportunity where you may want to consider selling, taking a little bit off the top, and that way if it does come down, you could buy more at those lower levels. Maybe you're a long-term investor and you could see this pushing up even higher. Well, this is now validating that resistance as a support. So that's also very interesting to see now with just the progression of these stocks over time as we watch them week after week and day after day, the patterns that they showcase over time. Major, wow, I wrote PLTR from 80 to 99. Hey, that's amazing. From 80 to 99, that is incredible. So he's basically saying that he bought at $80 and he wrote it all the way up to $99. That was a 24% profit for one of our members here. And of course, he's been trading longer than he's been a member. So that's fantastic to see within our Discord and our YouTube community. So $19 per share. And I tell you what, Major probably had at least 1,000 shares, Major? 100? Couple thousand? You had quite a few, I'm sure. So very cool, very cool. So now with that said, catching this resistance, yes, there's still resistance, but at the same time, will it pull back, or are we going to see some really cool new highs? Major said, laugh out loud. Not that many, but a few. Yeah, a few. I'd say probably at least 100, right? Yeah, you had some in there. I know you do. Major trades some good size. So SoFi, moving on. SoFi here on the 4-hour, again, catching resistance. Sometimes patterns do tend to repeat themselves, and you're getting this resistance at $14.50 to $15. We got resistance again here and another resistance again here. Now, by at least understanding where those resistance levels are, you can understand, okay, this company's not ready to push above $14.50 yet. Okay, and if it can't push above it, well, then it can only really consolidate or push down. And in my opinion, I believe SoFi can come down a little bit more, potentially test 12.20s, maybe even $11, $10, something like that. But right now, SoFi is below that moving average. It got rejected 2 days in a row and is going to continue to push down as far as I can tell. Although 1350 does look like a really nice support. Now that I'm looking at the chart, you guys see that here? 1350 looks pretty good actually for SoFi. So if you find value in this, you believe SoFi can bounce at 1350 to even 1450, that's a $1 per share or 7.4% profit on SoFi. I got cooked with ANET. I'm holding the bag. It's back near 100 though. Okay, ANET. ANET, that's very interesting. I know you've talked about it in the past. Okay, yeah, ANET, very nice. I like it. 3 stages of reversal, setting up from 135, selling off to 56. Got that consolidation around, 70-ish levels, 80-ish levels, pushing up to 100. Coming back down to 93. Could we see, hey, it's above that moving average, which is nice. We can see some more upward momentum from 96 to 135 or even just 120 levels, 25% profit. Okay, also could be an area to take profits as this could potentially come back down now that it is below that moving average. But I like it. I like what you're showcasing here. And if you guys have a company you want me to showcase or look at, then just put it in the comments section in a ticker format, and I will look at it for you guys, okay? Okay, and then what was the other one? SMCI. SMCI catching a lot of resistance again at what? $47, $48. We've had this resistance level here before. It's broke out and came all the way back down. Now we're seeing a lot of support, like more like 27, 28. We're going to get rid of this as it was a common resistance, but we're going to get rid of that line. And we're seeing some resistance right around $47, $48. So, this can definitely retrace and come back down to 27, maybe even test this moving average at 35, 36, and potentially get a nice bounce from SMCI. But right now, again, this is another company we call out every week. We update you with the prices, buying at 25, buying even at 30 last week. Buying at 30 last week resulted in a 44% profit. So congratulations to anyone who took advantage of that trade. LUNR, also a company we've been watching for quite some time. We got a lot of different key levels. We have been trading it from those lows of 7, 11, 12, all the way to $25. We even took positions back in January of this year. Now trying to set up for what? 3 stages of reversal. We have that nice rejection period here from highs of 25 to 20, all the way down to lows of $6, guys. I wish I would have picked more up at $6 or just really held any at $6 in general. But pushing all the way up to those highs of $11, $12, and still, even those highs at $12.80, it got up to that level quite a few times, but now we're getting rejection. So be very careful with this company as it can come all the way back down to $10, $11, man, even $6. Okay, be very careful. Now, if it does have a breakout on LUNR, then we could see a really nice push up to $15, $21, even $25 as it was once there before in recent rallies. Okay, we're not talking years ago, we're not talking months ago. Well, maybe we're talking months ago. This was literally rally happened in November all the way to January of this year, and then it's been selling off from January to March, consolidating from March to, I'd say, about May, the beginning of May, and then really rallying now in May from those lows of 6 to now 12, 100%ing your money, right? Doubling your money, literally 106%. And still have another potential double to go. So You know, you could still go up another 103% on LUNR. What is that from a low of $6? That's a 300% profit. If you're holding from $6 to 25, that's a 300% profit. And I guarantee you, there's some insider traders, there's some people that are within the company, and there's some people right now trading this and holding at those $6 levels. So I would not be surprised. All right, guys. Let's see what's happening. Hello, hello. Are we going to the moon or returning to the launch pad? I like that. UHN got hammered? Yeah, it did. UNH was my play of the year last week. 138 turned to 5K on a 270 put and should have been 4 times as much. I like that. I like that. Did you know that they were going to sell off? And how did you know that was going to happen? Right? But this was beautiful. UNH from 615. I mean, that first little initial push, 4%. And everyone's like, oh, 4%, not that bad. Maybe I'm going to buy some more. And then, boom, 25% in 3 days. And then it went down even more, 31%. And it's been slowly trickling down. Now it's down 38%. Then it pushed down even more, 49%. Went all the way down to 248, 59%, a 60% sell-off on UNH, United Health Group. That is freaking insane, guys. 60% of its market cap disappeared in 30 days. In 30 days, 1 month. You blink, you go on vacation, and you wake and you come back and check, and you're down 60% on United Health. Whoa. That's amazing, right? That is amazing. So, I mean, it's still a very solid company, right? Market cap 264 billion. They're going to probably change, they're going to change their CEO. They're going to restructure a few things, rebrand, probably get everything back to where it needs to be. And we could see a pretty significant recovery here. It's already recovered from 248 to 287 after hours. So even recovering 15% is a huge deal, right? Insane. Look at the recovery on this. 114% just to the moving average. 150% to those all-time highs of 625. Are we loading up on UNH tomorrow? Possibly. I saw the trend. You think MRCY, WGS, and TAC will run up this week? Risk reward was worth lotto tickets, yeah. In a day. Major was in that on a day, so 1 day. And UNH has been selling off for a month. Once shorts cover, it will rise. Yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely being shorted by big players on the news. By everyone, institutions, retail. Seems new CEO bought 25 million shares. Oh yeah, he's confident in his abilities. And he's going to take advantage of the dip. I've sold some puts on UNH at 220. Nice. So I'll collect 1,200 premium in 2 weeks. Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be a stock that we maybe add. What do you guys say? Do we add this to the 9 watch list and officially make it 10? I think so. I would love to track this a little more. They have a really solid dividend too, $2.10 per share every quarter. They're a huge company. Hey, we might as well take advantage. Buy low, sell high. This could be we're definitely going to be tracking it, okay? So let's see. Where are our alerts? Let's go 296, above 296, which I think it could happen very easily. That would be a beautiful move, though, from 296 to 340s, 20% move. Just to the moving average. Just to the moving average. But not saying, hey, that this can't sell off more. And then let's go 269 as a alert below. It will get you views. There's Healthcare Titan. They're a healthcare titan. Yep, you're right. Yeah, wow. Wow, love to see it, guys. Love to see the comments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. XPIV. Okay, guys, this is another EV car company, but they're wanting to do flying vehicles by 2026. I also believe they're the same one that has the walking robot right now. Is that the same company that I saw? A walking police officer robot. I want to say that's the same company, but I could be wrong. I know for a fact it's the flying vehicles or EV company, stuff like that. But guys, we called this out at $15 way long time ago in February, pushed up to 27. We've been waiting for this thing to sell off and recover, pick up some shares at 15, 16. It's now at 20. It's now at 20. It stays above this moving average. We could see it go back to $27. Nice 33% profit on XPEV very easily. So XPEV, very nice. Very nice. Major, you didn't see what? What was it that you didn't see? He said, whoa, I didn't see that. Was it this, XPEV? And then sound. Sound is trying to find that consolidation here, right? From $7, $10. I mean, there's a lot of consolidation within this range. It's holding above moving average, so if this can pump SoundHound AI, I don't know if it'll pump back to 25 because there's not a lot of hype in it anymore, but even if it got up to 14, $15, we could see a 40 to 50% profit. So that'd be very nice. And let's see what crypto's doing real quick because we already been live for, how long have we been live? 40 minutes. Wow, 40 minutes. Crypto's still pushing above that moving average up to 104. And QQQ 514. So they are holding. It is holding at 514. The robots, yeah. Yeah, they do have one. I guess I saw one, but Archer is going to be the official air taxi for the 2028 Olympic Games. Archer. Archer. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. Archer. Because I think flying vehicles are going to be the next thing, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of code enforcement regulations, permits, licensing. They're not just going to have like any random person be able to fly a vehicle. It's going to be like one of those class things, right? So like the rich people who can afford it can fly them, or that get their pilot license slash whatever the heck kind of special permit license you would need. Fiserv, what do you think of that? Saudi will become the AI super hub. Fiserv, is that this right here? FI, or is that FL? FI, Fiserv. What do I think about it? What do I think about it? Wow, I think it's very bullish. Had a very nice pullback, and we can have a potential bounce back to 238 very soon. It's always stayed above this moving average here. I'd look out for like 148, 150 as a support level. I'm not sure if it's made it there recently. Yeah, okay, so 147-ish could be a nice support level on FI, FL, Fiserv Inc. Very interesting. Do you guys see that? Do you see that support there? A lot of consolidation here. And it wasn't just for a day, it was from February to July. 5 months of consolidation at about 146, I'd say 150. Finding a little bit of support at 157. I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. As long as it continues to uptrend, right? We want to make sure it continues to push up. Now this does not look good, this little rejection here, but that's only on a 30-minute time frame. 1 hour time frame looks like it could still continue to sell off though a little bit more. So it's probably going to come back down and retest 157 for some type of support or validation is what I would think. Okay, just my opinion. But oh yeah, see, that makes sense, right? That's right there where the resistance level was previously. So this was a nice little horizontal pattern it created with support and resistance. It liked to trade within this level. So you could see this go fall back in between that level and kind of get stuck back in that level, or it could validate support and begin to bounce off of that level. Hope that helps. Fintech. Oh, okay. So I'm not even on the right one then. Hey, well, anyone who's looking at Fiserv, I'm confused. You guys are confusing me now. Fintech. Is that the same thing or is that something different? No, it's the same, right? Fintech. Yeah. No, it's not, is it? Sad face. He's laughing. Why are you laughing? Is it FL? Foot Locker? FI. It's FI, right? Yeah. Cool. I hope that helped. You need to read my comment in context. There's actually too many comments going on, actually, and then I got okay, no worries. We're good. We're good. So yeah, that's where we're gonna wrap up the live stream here, guys. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna have a great day tomorrow, whether the markets are bearish or bullish, nonetheless, trading with you all at market open. So if this is your first time watching or tuning in, definitely subscribe, smash that notification bell, and you'll see when I go live. But if you're ever interested in watching a live stream, just know that, when the market opens in your area, guaranteed we'll be live 30 minutes to an hour, and we'll be hanging out, talking about stocks and, basically making money in the stock market. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'm messing up my OBS. There we go. Possible red day tomorrow. Possible green day tomorrow. So we will see how that plays out. Again, appreciate you guys' time. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday with family, friends, or overall just hanging out with yourself, maybe getting some fresh air, going for a walk, working out, running, doing something to work out that heart as well. We can work out our bodies physically, we can work out our minds mentally, but not everybody thinks about your heart. Okay, we got to work out our heart too. I'm pointing at my heart, but you can't see me. Make sure you work your heart out too, guys. Okay, get that cardio in. All right, appreciate you guys' time, and we will see you all in tomorrow's live day trading session. Don't be late. Just kidding. Have a great day, guys.